Media, thank you so much for joining tonight. We're going to get started with head coach Derek Fisher. You can now raise your hand in the chat. Please remember to use the raise hand function and do not type questions directly into the chat. We'll get started tonight with Adam Grossbard with the LA Daily News.
Derek, Simone Augustus scored 9 points there in the third quarter when you guys had fallen behind. How did her performance there off the bench help shift the momentum in the game?
Well, Adam, we talked about this was a character win for our team. Like which I'm sure was documented, some pregame things that could have easily, disrupted us. And I think that Simone's character, her mental toughness, this is sports. And at some point, you just got to compete and just leave it all out there. And sometimes with our team, because of how smart we are, how high our IQ is, we think a little bit more than we compete. And Simone went out there and just started competing. And that's what really changed the momentum of this game. The confidence, the swagger that she played with, I think that infused everybody else. And I think Taya Cooper also was able to really change the momentum for us with her defensive intensity.
I'll go over to Chris Camello.
Yeah, Coach, nice win tonight. Just kind of piggybacking on that question, what has Simone brought to the table? Obviously, you always talk about the leadership of your team with Candace and Nneka and Chelsea. What sort of a different dynamic has Simone brought to the table? And the second part of that is, do you see her kind of mentoring somebody like Taya Cooper?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Simone has brought a level of character, humility, integrity to the group. She's as accomplished of a basketball player as anybody in the world, man or woman. So she's come here, accepted whatever role we have for her, however many minutes she plays. She respects our core players that have been here and built this team into what it is. And she just wants to be a part of a great group. And so when you have, your best players leading by example in terms of how they carry themselves, the way they speak, it helps everybody else. So when you start talking about Taya Cooper and Sydney Weiss and Christine Anigwe, Rashonda Gray, some of our younger players, we really leveled up in the offseason with some veteran additions, Christy Tolliver, Simone Augustus, that I think are going to just help us continue to build the type of character we want in our locker room so that we can win games the way we did tonight.
Go over to Tukni Nguyen with the LA Times.
Coach, when you think about the season you guys have and the different challenges coming up with the schedule and all of that, how much of the season will be kind of defined by having character wins and not necessarily just talent or skill?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think there are going to be a lot of character wins. There's the Washington Mystics are, starting out well. People assume that without a lot of their named players that they were just going to be here just for show. But they started out well. Chicago Sky, who we ran into a couple nights ago, started out well. Minnesota Lynx. It really is about just fighting and competing really hard. And we're a talented team. And as we get in better condition and better rhythm, I think our game will start to look better. But right now, we just got to scrap and claw and squeeze out every win we can. And it'll be right back on us on Saturday at 8 p.m.
Over to Pavy with HNB Media.
Great win tonight, Coach. You mentioned Taya's performance, defensively. How important will it be for you guys that, that continues, even though she's a rookie?
Yeah, no, I think it's really important. We were fortunate that when Christy opted out, to be able to turn and pivot and be able to add somebody like Coop, her toughness, the physicality, the speed that she plays the game. She loves to defend and get after people. We need that. And then I think as she gets smarter and continues to understand the WNBA game and how to manage a game, it also, which is why we prioritize signing Christy Tolliver in the offseason, it gives us an additional ball handler and decision maker so we can get Chelsea off the ball more so she doesn't have to work so hard to get everything that she gets. And so it's really important that Coop continue to develop and it's our job to help her do that.
Two more tonight for Coach. We'll go to John W. Davis with Winsider.
Hey, Coach Fisher, can I get your impressions on Candace Parker's double-double in the Wubble?
Yeah, no, I think that Candace was phenomenal tonight. She missed a lot of easy shots. She had a couple turnovers early, got frustrated with herself, right? But I think the way she's come back into this season, she's healthier, her energy is better, and she was still able to right herself, get herself focused, and help us get this win. You know, she drew a lot of attention tonight. She only got 6 field goal attempts, but her rebounding, she had some good shot blocks. She made some good passes. You know, she's a versatile player. So just having her out there does a lot of good for us. And tonight was one of those performances where she wasn't really worried about necessarily scoring herself. She just led us by trying to help us get a win. And that's what we need from everybody.
Last question for Coach. We'll go back to Adam Grossbart, LA Daily News.
In the, the offense kind of struggled there at the beginning of the game, 3 turnovers in the first 5 possessions. Like, how were the ladies able to turn the switch?
Yeah, no, I think they deserve all the credit for just hanging in there and believing in each other. You know, like I said, the way, things kind of led into the start of this game, we had to get ourselves focused again. Our energy at the start was much better than it was on Tuesday night. We just weren't executing as sharply. So I think that our players were able to stay confident because the energy level was there. We were doing the right things. We just weren't completing the plays. And that takes character and the ability to stay focused and disciplined. So that's why we feel, even better about this win than we normally would, because those are growth things for us, being able to still stay in there together when adversity hits. And this won't be the last time it hits that we have to still figure out how to get a win.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
Chris Camello.
Chelsea, strong performance tonight. Obviously, you and Simone, it kind of felt like you led the charge. Just talk about, from one veteran to another, what do you like about playing with Simone Augustus? What has she brought to the team?
Well, first of all, we needed that lift. She came in, hit some good buckets, but also her energy defensively, but also getting into us, and that's what she's bringing. She brings the experience, the leadership role that she's playing off the bench has been great, and telling us what we need to hear, not always what we like to hear, but what we need to hear at that moment. And I think that's going to continue throughout the season. But she came up huge. Her versatility, being able to switch when Bonner and Alyssa Thomas were setting those screens was key as well, and be able to defend 1 through 4 was huge. But also, Simone Augustus, don't ever forget it. So she was able to knock down those shots and really start us out with those runs.
We'll go over to Jeff Simsta.
Hey there. I have a question. The theme of this season so far really seems to be energy. In the games when you've had energy, you guys win, you show up, you play great. In the game, well, so far that you didn't play so great. How are you guys going to maintain that energy in these games on this marathon season?
Just focusing not on ourselves, but on each other, and playing for the person next to you, playing for the person to the left and the right, and doing it together. We're not going to be able to do it individually. Is going to have to be feeding off of each other, especially with these late games and things like that. And we have 3 games in 6 days, so being able to feed off of each other. And then the next man up tonight, it was Simone. Ted came off the bench and gave some huge minutes and energy, really picked up the ball right at half court to kind of frustrate Jasmine Thomas a little bit, and we're going to need that down the stretch, every one of us.
Tukni New in LA Times.
Hey, Chelsea, how did you approach the last 48 hours in terms of recovery to get ready for this game?
Treatment, ice, hydrating, elevating, sleep, getting the right things in my body. The last game, I didn't really like my pregame meal and what I decided to do with that. So actually understanding that and understanding that I can't do that anymore. So basically just recovering as much as possible, icing, massage, a little bit of everything just to make sure that we're as fresh as can be when the ball tips off.
Two more for Chelsea. We'll go to Megan Hines.
Hey Chelsea, congrats on the win. I just want to ask about Taya. You already talked a little bit about her before, but just talk about how willing and ready she is to be on the court with her defensive energy and her offensive energy as well.
Yeah, she was huge tonight, and she was able to come off the bench and really spark us, you know, pun intended, but really gave that energy coming off the bench. She was able to get to the lane defensively. She was getting over screens, getting hit by screens, but coming back once again, and that's what we're going to need. And I'm really proud of how she came into the game, especially not playing last game, and it shows a sense of maturity. But her willingness to get better, but also fight and have that resilience out there was key.
A last question for Chelsea. Adam Grossbart, LA Daily News.
Chelsea, just to follow up on one of your earlier answers, what was it about the other pregame meal that didn't work, and like what did you change coming into this game?
I think it was a lot of different spices going on that I don't know if it was salty, but I just felt drained and not having my legs under me a little bit. And all that is important. And just hydrating the right way as well. A lot of water, but also, getting my chlorophyll drops, all of that type of stuff. So I'm ready for the next day and the next day. And then when game time comes, I'm ready to play. But the pregame meal, I got to do better with that. And this time I just cooked and made sure I was eating the right thing.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you.
Augustus.
No, thank you.
John W. Davis.
Hey, what's up, Moan? How you feeling?
I'm feeling.
You're feeling good, good, good. Can you kind of talk about your third quarter, how you locked in and you did what you needed to do and you said what you needed to say to the team to get over that hump? And then also, are you feeling like a proud grandma?
What? Oh man, here we go with the as far as the third quarter, I just wanted to bring a spark. Any way that I could, just trying to find my spots to be effective on the court and get other players going, get CP going, get Chelsea going, get Necker going. But it allowed me to get myself going as well and try to bring some energy in the third quarter that got us going. And as far as the grandma stuff, who told you that? Who said that?
We'll go over to Kerry Jones Jr.
Hey, how you doing? It's Harvey Jones with the LA Sentinel. Derek Fisher kind of talked about you all's leadership. Can you elaborate on you all's leadership towards the young players and the response they have?
Yeah, I just keep talking to them. It's like Brittany is over at my house. We talk about using her ability, her quickness, her leaping ability to be able to defend and then get out on offense. Coop has been doing a wonderful job. We've just been staying on her about defense. Just her defensive intensity and tenacity on that end helps us out a lot when she's guarding the point guards. And then TRP and other players, you're just trying to keep them from getting in their head. Like sometimes they get too much in their head, and it's like, just play your game, just calm down, do what we need you to do on this team to win. And it's been, it's obviously an obstacle, it's up and down. Game 2 is a little bit different from game 1. Obviously game 3 was a little bit better than game 2. So we're figuring it out. But as long as we keep communicating with them and let them know what we need from them, I think it'll all work out.
Chris Camello.
Hey, Simone, great game tonight. Chelsea just spoke about the interesting part of your leadership is saying what needs to be said, not necessarily what they want to hear, but saying what needs to be said. As a new player on a team that has a really established core, is that difficult to do, or are you just speaking based on your experience and just kind of getting in where you fit in?
Yeah, I just speak the truth, honestly, and speaking from my experience. I talked to Chelsea earlier today just about, her being one of the best point guards in this league. But the assist has to show it. Right now, Vandersloot is up at the top when it comes to assists. I stay in CP's ear talking about I believe she's one of the greatest players to ever grace the court. But every night she has to come out and show it. And I'm going to be there to push her. I'm going to be there to say the things that need to be said to get her going, as well as everybody else. As long as we can be honest and communicate with one another and not take offense to anything, or, we'll be fine with the way that we're going.
Megan Hines.
Hi, Simone. Congrats on the win. I just wanted to know what was your feeling coming into the game, and how were you feeling throughout the game, throughout your run in the third quarter?
My feeling coming in, I wanted to have a better game than game two. Obviously, we started off a little bit slow. The second group came in, did a little bit better, but we didn't do enough to get the victory. So tonight we wanted to start off a little bit better. Obviously, we come off the bench, so we get to see how the game flows and see what we need to bring to the table. Tonight was a lot of energy, obviously scoring, just getting after it on the defensive end. DeWanna Barnes is a great player. She still got off, but we were able to keep other players under control to kind of keep us at bay. And so that was the focal point, just having that defensive intensity that we didn't have against Chicago.
Last question for Simone. Adam Grossbart, LA Daily News.
Simone, have you had to adjust your game day routine with these late night starts?
Yeah, a tad bit. It's kind of hard to figure out meals. Like, you don't want to eat too early and then you're hungry for the game. You got to figure out, your stretching routine. Like, I always do some type of activation or yoga or something like that prior to getting to the arena. So it's really just like timing out. It's a long period of time throughout the day. We have COVID testing, then shoot around, and then it's about 3 or 4 hours or so before we play a game. So it's just mainly trying to figure out your regimen, your routine.
Thank you, Simone.
Thank you.
Parker. Chris Camello.
Hey, Candace, great win tonight. Simone has talked about how she has kind of been, just kind of pushing everybody and just speaking the truth. Has that particular aspect of just having that honesty helped you to become a better player?
I think so, and I also think it helps us to be a better team. I mean, Moan has 4 championships, a couple of which have been against us, and so I think it's definitely helpful to have that experience, but also to have her challenging us and pushing us.
Kari Jones, LA Sentinel.
How you doing, Candace? It's Connor Jones with the LA Sentinel. Can you elaborate the leadership of Simone Augustus kind of brought tonight and the impact she has on young players?
I mean, she came in and, playing her at the 4, I think creates a lot of mismatches. It spreads the floor. So me and Neck are able to operate in the paint. But I mean, she definitely gave us a run in that third and that fourth quarter when Connecticut was coming back, just off one-on-one plays and making shots. So she started off and didn't shoot the ball well, but I mean, shoot, and I think that to me it's action. I mean, everybody can talk and things like that, but to back it up with action, Simone helped us out with that tonight.
John W. Davis.
Candace, what do you say about the character of the team to push through this, grind through this, you to get a double-double, and for everybody to contribute to this win?
Well, we're going to have that. I mean, we're in a bubble. We're playing every other day, playing at 10 p.m. So I think it's going to be those games where you just have to get through it and play. And so I think it's huge for us to be able to pull this out. But there's going to be a lot of games like this that we're tired or whatever. And so with our team, we just got to get contributions, and it can be a different person every night.
Tiffany New in LA Times.
Candace, did your new bed come yet?
Say it again?
Did your new bed come yet?
No. It's got to sit for 2 days, with shipping. So I'm thinking it's here. I cannot wait. I know my sleep is going to be a lot better once my mattress gets here.
Last question for Candace, Chris Camello. Go ahead with your question.
Oh yeah, so sorry about that. My thing was on mute. Candace, do you guys feel like you may have found something as far as the initial energy of the game in the first quarter as opposed to last game? It was a really slow start. Fisher talked about how tonight was better energy. Execution wasn't quite there, but the energy was better. Can you guys build on that?
No, I'm one of those that just wants more. So I think our energy was better. Is it as good as it could be? No. We can't always wait to turn it up. We can't always wait to execute. So it's our third game, really our first real week of action, of live action. So I think each game we got to continue to turn it up, because there's going to be games that we're going to wish when we're in game 19, 20. There's not going to be a lot of games that separate people from different spots when you're jockeying for playoffs. So these are games that we definitely have to win, and we can't get off to slow starts.
Thank you, Candace.
Thank you.
All right, we'll start with Kari Jones of the LA Sentinel.
Hey, how's it going? It's Connor Jones. Can you elaborate on the leadership from the veteran players?
Oh, this during this game or just in general?
Just in general. Just how you all able to just overcome adversity and still come out with a win tonight.
You know, there's so many. So we have so much valuable information between each person, whether it's Chelsea, NECA, Candace, Bay, TRP, Slim, Sid. I mean, I'm the only rook, so I mean, just hearing everything they have to say. Then we got Fish, Coach T, Carrie. I mean, everybody are intelligent people, and they all talk and they all communicate, and there's a lot of communication going around. So we got a lot of information from everybody.
John W. Davis.
Hey, Tay, a quick question. What are you looking at, or what are you paying attention to before you come in the game so that you can be effective?
I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at how they're guarding us. I'm looking at how we're guarding them and what's working, what's not working, what could, spark a little more, whatever needs to be done. I'm listening to what Coach Fish is yelling out, what he's turning around and saying to us. So, but every time I step on the floor, I just try to give energy and effort, and that's what I can control. So I try to do that.
Tukni New in LA Times.
Taya, what's it been like to be able to learn from someone like Simone and also watch her just kind of go off in the third quarter? Like, what's just being around her energy like for you as a rookie?
Oh, I love Simone. Simone is just a wonderful person. Playing with her, she comes in, she's efficient, she do what she got to do. She gonna push you, she gonna get into you. She's ready. I mean, she's a super vet. Like, been there, done that. Like, she gonna get us as far as we can, and we trust her, and we just follow her lead.
Two more tonight. Megan Hines.
Hi, Taya. Congrats on the win. I just want to know your thoughts on how you played tonight. You came off the bench with a great performance. Just talk about your feelings about being back on the court after not also being in the game on Tuesday.
I couldn't hear the end. I couldn't hear the end.
Go ahead, Megan.
Uh-oh.
Just your thoughts about how being back on the court after not playing on Tuesday.
Well, I had to sit in a hotel and watch the game. So when I was able to, come in from the bus and be there during pregame, warm up with them, feel the energy, and just step on the court, I mean, you don't take anything for granted. And I was just excited, taking one day at a time, staying in the moment, enjoying what was happening right there. And that's all I really could do.
Last question for tonight, Adam Grossbart, LA Daily News.
Taya, being in this type of situation, learning from these vets would be good for any young player, but is it especially helpful just this particular season where you have to, adjust to such unusual basketball circumstances?
I mean, absolutely. I think being able to adapt is huge because, we didn't get to have a lot of time to learn and sit there and, practice a lot. So we jumped right into games, and once you have a game, you have one day and you have another game. So you got to be able to learn. Like, if you're a visual learner, it might be harder, but you got to be able to learn with voices and people talking to you and being able to adapt in a moment. I think that was huge for me. So, I was blessed to have a lot of vets and older people to help me, and it's been a good transition.
Thank you so much, Taya.
Thank you.